How's it going, everybody? Comic book artist and writer Will Robson here. Now, in my last video, we covered the Spider-Gwen samples that I actually drew for Marvel Comics, and before that, we covered me talking to CB Cebulski and my portfolio review, and we kind of just been on a little bit of a journey of how I became a professional comic book artist. This is the final video covering that whole story, and we're going to cover today how I went from handing in those samples to eventually working pretty much full-time for Marvel Comics. So, enjoy the video. Alright, so that's what I did, right? That's what I handed in. I sent it off to Ricky and I said, here's my samples and the cover. There were a few more cover prompts. I was just, honestly, I was so burnt out, which is kind of bad when you think about it because I'd only worked for 1 week, and if I wanted to work in the comic book industry, this would be my life going forward, which is something I don't think anybody's really prepared for. I mean, this business is crazy. You've got to work lots and lots of hours. So I handed in, and I actually didn't hear back from him for a long time. I moved in with my girlfriend at university, and I remember being in the theater watching Batman vs Superman when it first came out, and I had a notification set on my phone that if Ricky Purden emailed me, my phone would vibrate in a weird way. It would be like beep, 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 beep. And I remember sitting and watching that movie and my phone blowing up, and it was Ricky Purden. I was like, oh my god, I'm finally hearing back from Marvel. And I remember reading that email, and I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was something on the lines of, thank you for these samples, I still think you need to work on this, this, and this. If you want to do another script down the road, once you've improved, then we'll go from there. And I remember feeling a bit deflated. I thought, oh man, I've just worked so hard. I really thought that I'd done all the right steps, right? I got the portfolio review with CB Cebulski. He approved that. I did the sample scripts and I did them quickly. That's all going great. I really thought I was on a fast track to working for Marvel, but I was wrong. So I guess maybe a month or so went by, and I was sort of contemplating what my next steps were going to be, because as I said in my previous video, this was sort of my last hurrah in comics. I was at that sort of end of that 3 years that I had said, hey, I'm going to give myself 3 years to try and break into the comic book business. If I can't do it in 3 years, then I'm going to give up on that dream. And I was at the tail end of that, and I believe at that point I was thinking of moving down to Brighton and becoming a bartender. I don't know why. I liked drinking. I liked making drinks, so I figured I could get an easy job doing that. And I was ready to sort of move into the next step of my life, but randomly one morning, and I remember the date because it was April 20th, and I remember waking up in the morning, and on my phone was an email, and the email was from an editor called Jake Thomas, and I was like, what? It said Marvel, and I remember it said Star-Lord ? And I thought, you know, you immediately you see that, and then I started reading like, hey, Will, this is Jake Thomas. I saw your portfolio, and I loved it. We need someone to come in and help on Star-Lord as we're wrapping up the series. Can you come in and finish it up for us? It's about 15 pages. I don't remember the exact email, but I started crying halfway through reading that email, because it was like, oh, just like, I did it. Like, I actually did it. I freaking broke into Marvel Comics. Like, such an unobtainable at the time idea to me. It was something like, you meet a lot of people in your life, and people are either positive or negative. So many people around me were like, don't even bother going for Marvel. Like, it's so like, you're never going to be able to break into Marvel, so why put yourself through all that stress and all that hard work? Like, if people are like that in your life, forget them. The way I operate is, if you work hard, then you get the rewards, and I'm living proof of that. So absolute vindication that I was able to break in. And I just started crying before I finished reading the email, and my girlfriend at the time, now my wife, she woke up like all scared, like, oh my god, what's happened? Like, she thought someone had freaking died, because she'd woken up to me just crying over her shoulder. And I said, no, these are tears of joy. Like, I did it. I broke into Marvel, and she was so thrilled for me. So then I actually knuckled down. I went off and I drew my first issue of Star-Lord. I was drawing all day, every day for, I think, a month. Yeah, about a month. My birthday was around that time. Worked all the way through my birthday. Didn't care about it. That's just another day. I was just determined to get the work in. I just knuckled down, hit the deadline, handed it in, and that was my first work at Marvel. And I was really excited about it, and me and my wife went on vacation after that. We went to Turkey. When I was in Turkey, I emailed every single editor at Marvel Comics my Star-Lord work, the best pages from my Star-Lord work, and I said to them, hey, I'm a Marvel comic book artist. This is my most recent work. I'm looking for my next project. If you're looking for anybody, I'd love to be considered. And lo and behold, I had an email response during that time from Tom Brevoort, who said, hey, we're starting a new Great Lakes Avengers series. Do you want to do a tryout image for it and see maybe if you want to be the artist or not? So on holiday, I like knuckled down and drew an image of the Great Lakes Avengers and sent it off to Tom Beaufort to say, yeah, this is how I would draw them. He liked what he saw, and then he hired me for that gig, and then that's pretty much the beginning of my career there. And what I learned from that is keep emailing. Like, don't ever expect anybody to just give you a job. Keep up with contacts and emails. If I'm looking for work, I email every single editor I possibly can, because if you look at the beginning of my career and how I got hired, all it takes is one person to like your work. That's it. One person. One person might think you're not ready yet. Another person might think that you're the exact right person for the job. So keep up with your emails. I, to this day, email constantly when I'm looking for new work. I keep in contact with people. I think in my whole career, I've had maybe 4 or 5 times when people have actually emailed me with job offers. I always try and look for work. And that's a huge thing about staying in the business. Because if you think it's hard to break into the comic book industry, a lot of people will tell you it's much harder to stay in it. And that's why I think putting together a strong portfolio of your latest work, not just something you drew really cool from like 2 years ago. No, always give them your latest work. Put the dates on it so they can see that this is your latest work. Show them your latest and greatest, and keep in contact with them. If you are an aspiring artist watching this right now and you contact editors, always make sure you end your email with saying, hey, do you mind if I send you in 2 or 3 months time, or next quarter? Saying that is quite good. Do you mind if next quarter I send you my latest samples and we can, continue to review them or talk from there? Just keep up with the emails. It doesn't matter if you work for Marvel, DC, and all this stuff. Keep in contact with people. Show them your work. I mean, you look at my stuff that I showed you today compared to what I'm doing now, it's totally different. An editor out there is not keeping up constantly with what I'm drawing. They might still think that I draw in this open, cartoony style. That's why it's so important for me to constantly send my newest work to my oldest contacts, because they can see that progression. Because at the end of the day, my career is my responsibility. So, thank you guys very much for watching this video. I don't know if I'm going to go into this is my work on Great Lakes Avengers and talk about that, or Star-Lord a bit more. If you guys want that content, then just comment below and I'll make it. I'd also like to say that I may not have a video in the next week or 2. I'm not quite sure yet, because I'm getting ready for a con, MEFCC. I don't know if any of you guys live out in the Middle East, but I'll be in Abu Dhabi for that convention. I'm really looking forward to it. I think people like Ivan Reis are going to be there. It's a really cool convention, and I'm going to be releasing a exclusive variant cover, only 100 ever printed, of my comic Outbreaks through the great people at Comic Cave. So I will definitely be showing you their store, because it is the greatest comic book store ever. So look forward to that in the future. Okay guys, thanks very much for watching, and remember, keep making comics. Alright everybody, thank you for watching this video. If you'd like to follow me on social media, I'm available on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, anywhere there's social media, you can find me. It's usually at RobsonINK, and that's RobsonINK. I've got a Kickstarter. It is coming sometime in April. I'm launching issues 1 through 3 of my zombie comic called Outbreaks, and I've got a super special comic book artist as the cover for issue 3, and my god, wait until you find out who it is. I mean, if you like zombies, you're gonna like the cover artist. I'm also heading to Middle Eastern Film and Comic Con, which is February 8th to 11th or something like that, and I'll be there signing copies of Outbreaks and doing commissions and stuff. So if you're in the area, please come by. I'd love to meet you. And if you'd like to read a free comic by me, you can go to my website speechcomics.com, where I'm uploading Dead-Eye Dick, which is the backup story of Outbreaks, and that will always be free for anybody to read. And if you want to stay up to date with my work, then please have my website, sign up to my newsletter. So if you want to be there for day 1, which I usually do like a giveaway or something cool on day 1, then please sign up for the newsletter and you'll be notified when I launch. And also, check out my Patreon. We had a bunch of new members sign up because of the last video, and the Discord's been great. There's been people sharing their work in there, and I've been helping them improve their work, and I've been giving them tips from how to get from being an aspiring artist to a professional artist, and it's just a great environment. Okay guys, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace!